Fans here really expect something special tonight. Chris Thorman, always a key figure for the Giants. Be interesting to see whether the prop forwards Keith Mason and Andy Raleigh can handle the juggernauts, as they call them now, for the Warrington Wolves area, Adrian Morley and Paul Rahi. We all know that if you take control in the forwards, then you at least give your halfbacks some sort of chance. The man in the middle tonight, Richard Silverwood, let's hope that he gives them plenty of room to move, because you're right, Eddie, there is so much talent out on the pitch tonight. It should be a cracker.
Should indeed. Richard Silverwood is the man in the middle. The video referee tonight is the man who was in the middle last night at the JJB Stadium. That's Ashley Klein. Warrington to kick off, then attacking from right to left as we watch. That was Chris Hicks with the kick-off. This is Luke Robinson, John Clark with the first tackle, and Martin Gleeson in as the sun comes streaming down. A welcome visitor. This is Chris Thorman now, and he gets the ball to Robinson in centre field. And Hicks with the despairing tackle, Griggs with the one that counted, and here now is Keith Mason.
Good run as well. The man that just dropping into dummy half is Ryan Hudson. He'll play a key role for the Giants this evening.
This is Andy Raleigh on the charge, running straight at Louis Anderson.
It'll be interesting to see whether Hudson goes running from dummy half early. No, he's feeding it out wide.
To Robinson, then to Chris Thorman. Little dance from Thorman in front of the defensive line. The tackle completed by Westwood. Here is Hudson now into the in-goal area. Could be the first try here for Leroy Cudjoe. Leroy Cudjoe was the quickest to get to the ball that was placed through the back of the Warrington defence, and the 20-year-old full-back, an England under-17 international in days gone by. He was the first to react. He got there before the ball hit the dead ball line. Touchdown, and Huddersfield, well, Riley's error has been punished by Leroy Cudjoe and the Huddersfield Giants.
This is the error. Chris Riley had all the time in the world. He had a little look to see who was coming, and from it, Hudson, beautiful chip through. Cudjoe knew exactly what was happening. We mentioned the fact it was important that Ryan Hudson was in top form, and you can't ask better than that. Knew exactly what was happening from the hooker, and the full back opens the scoring. Great lift there for the Giants.
It's quite ironic, Eddie, that Huddersfield have scored through a kick. Last year, if you cast your mind back, they used to be one of the best sides out that play, be it Robbie Paul or Brad Drew. This year they rank 11th. They've really struggled with finding that short kicking accuracy, but they've begun this game, and I suspect we're in for another high-scoring thriller between these two teams.
Well, Paul Anderson, the caretaker coach, with the headphones on pitch side. A wonderful conversion from Chris Thorman from this Leroy Cudjoe try. That's a perfect start for the Giants.
It certainly is, and not only that, you know, Chris Riley obviously has been pinpointed by Paul Anderson, the Giants' boss, by saying, hey, it's a little bit dodgy. We've seen it already, and he wasn't in a great position. He should have been a little bit further back there. It was an easy run for Cudjoe. Take nothing away from them. The combination was quite superb.
Well, Warrington started shakily, didn't they, last week against the Bradford Bulls? They were 12-0 down early, and they fought back to win the match. This is Jamal Lolisi.
It's something that they can do without, though, and they know it. Their coach, James Lowes, has been trying to get their defensive line sorted out. For 10-15 minutes at a time, it can be solid, and then it just goes to sleep.
Again, kicking on the fourth tackle, Chris Thorman. This time it finds Chris Hicks. And don't forget that we have the Super League special for you at midnight tonight. Sky Sports Extra. We'll have this match, and we'll also have extended highlights of the game in the south of France between the Catalan Dragons and the Leeds Rhinos. A match that could easily see the Catalan Dragons go second in the table. That's also available in the early hours of Sunday morning and at noon on Sunday lunchtime. Sky Sports 2 and HD2. This is John Clark now for the Warrington Wolves. Good defence on show here, and James Lowe's looking a little concerned in the stand on the far side. Monaghan with the kick straight down the middle. Cudjoe is onto this quickly, and Cudjoe here will begin the counter-attack for Huddersfield Giants.
Rather surprisingly, they're kicking directly to Cudjoe. He's a youngster with great potential. He's got plenty of speed, a wonderful step as well. What they really should be doing is be kicking well away from him.
Hudson again is the dummy half. It's Keith Mason running strongly, 10 metres inside the Warrington half of the field, with Hudson again, and now Robinson. And Robinson finds Lolisi, and he finds, or tries to find, Kevin Brown. That ball ricocheted, and did the referee say that that went back, or was it touched by the Warrington man? It was touched by the Warrington man, Kevin Penny, so the tackle count is wiped clean by Richard Silverwood. Here is Raleigh. This is more pressure on this Warrington line.
That's a big call by the official. Did the ball play the man? He said it was the opposite. Beautiful offload.
But that's a knock on by Brown, and Warrington, well, they muscled up in defence. It looked dodgy for them for a moment, but Kevin Brown just couldn't take the pass. Well, he took the pass in, but he couldn't get the pass away.
Good work by Louis Anderson, though. Grabbed at the ball-carrying arm, didn't go for the football itself, just dragged it away. Well, the centre, Kevin Brown, no opportunity.
Warrington have got 100 tries against their name scored, but that try from Leroy Cudjoe in the opening minutes here at the Galfond Stadium, the 95th try that they have conceded. It's obvious where the problems are. This is Westwood in possession for the Wolves.
And the amazing thing about that, Eddie, is that Huddersfield have conceded fewer tries than Warrington and yet find themselves in 11th position. Absolutely fascinating that Huddersfield's attack really has let them down this year. They've had a lot of good soldiers, but their officers haven't provided the direction or the key decision-making ability when it's really mattered in games. And they've got a lot of players who'll carry the ball forward, who'll make the necessary tackles, but when they're in key parts of the field, they haven't had, perhaps most importantly, a number 9 with the eyes and the hands to create the opportunities for the players around him.
7.25 minutes gone. Huddersfield 6-0 ahead against the Warrington Wolves. Let's go down to the sideline and Bill.
One man missing from this Warrington Wolves side tonight, Vinnie Anderson, and notable absentee. He's been in good form of late, but he's picked up a shoulder injury in training. That's the word from the bench. Hence the switch of Martin Gleeson to loose forward. Not a position he's overly familiar with. In fact, according to the Warrington bench, he's played a couple of minutes there this season against Hull, so they're keen to see how he goes on there.
Great kick and chase. Brown all over Penny there. It's good basic football by the Giants. They'll be very happy with it. Their coach, Paul Anderson. The way that they've utilised the two props, Keith Mason and Andy Raleigh, just getting over the advantage line.
Oh, and that's a forward pass.
Shocking. He won't mind.
Referee Richard Silverwood got the call from his touch judge, who was helped in the decision by a couple of thousand Huddersfield voices.
It's just lack of coordination.
Definitely forward.
Oh, without a doubt. And you've got to understand, professional players have to think on their feet and with their hands as well. Penny could see that it was in front of him. Should have kept hold of the football.
It was wonderful scoring form, Kevin Penny. He started 3, scored 5 tries. Started the last 3 rather, he scored 5 tries.
No good scoring 5 if you're going to let in 6.
This is Fatuira, and now Ryan Hudson. One winger, Chris Riley, making the initial error that led to the first try. Has Penny made an error that will lead to a second? Huddersfield hope so. This is Raleigh. Hudson again at dummy half.
Keep your eye on the fullback, Cudjoe.
Thorman, and the ball finds its way into the arms of Danny Kermond, but it was a big hit on him by Anderson. Hudson once again, Luke Robinson. Back it comes to Cudjoe. And Paul Rohehe collars him, scrags him to the ground. That's the last tackle. Back really where they began here, Huddersfield, this set of 6. 10 metres away. Thorman, good kick, looking for the big man out wide. The ball has bounced back to Stephen Wild. And it's Raleigh, and Raleigh gets it away to Fatuira, and Fatuira down the line. And the ball eventually trickled its way dead, but there was another little...
well, panic.
Dodgy time for Warrington.
Certainly was. Just had the opportunity to try to grab it, but if they'd have gone on to score, I got the impression that the official, Richard Silverwood, would have had to have gone to the screen and said if he was offside. I thought that they were offside at the kick. David Hodgson certainly got out of the blocks early.
Here is Anderson again for Warrington. Louis Anderson. Anderson the younger, 23 years of age, 18 caps for New Zealand. This now Martin Gleeson, and he was nearly through the gap. He's in very dangerous form, is Martin Gleeson. That's Monaghan, bullets the pass wide.
Oh, someone should have been supporting. Second phase was poor.
Griggs couldn't get the ball away. Here is Breers now, daps the ball over the top. And Brown allows it to bounce, and it runs and bobbles its way over the dead in-goal line.
First real opportunity by the Wolves. Not the best kick there from Breers in the end, under a lot of pressure. But at least they've got themselves into a good position. Can they keep them down? Can they stop the Giants getting over the halfway line?
David Hodgson on the ball here, only his second appearance of 2008. Boy, they've missed him. They thought they had bought a prize asset. Indeed, they had and have bought a prize asset, but he's hardly been seen this year, David Hodgson. This now Ryan Hudson. Good work from the Warrington defence so far.
Well, they kick early,
gone.
they have, yeah. Again, they're going early. Bit too strong on that occasion.
Yes, that just scuttles its way dead. Luke Robinson, the fourth Super League club for him. He's only 23 years of age. But, you know, he is the future. He is the catalyst, maybe, that Huddersfield will build around. That was certainly John Sharp's intention.
It's taken him a while to settle in here at the Giants. And I must say that the tactics from Paul Anderson, yet again, we've noticed on 3 occasions they've kicked on the 4th tackle, which is good because what they're trying to do is, oh, good break.
Great run from Rahimi.
Get it away.
Man taken out was Michael Monaghan, seemed to get a shove in the back, and he also got, I think, a stud down the heel as well. This now is Matt King.
Leading Luke.
Louis Anderson waits. Monaghan to Breers, and Breers goes wide and finds Griggs, and Griggs' pass is put out of the air by Hodgson.
Good opportunity. Beautiful long ball by Breers to start with. Gleeson just knew that he had to offload to try to get anywhere near the goal line. And it'll be just solid hard work. Nothing fancy from the Giants now. Oh, it's good defence. Rahi and Westwood got the shoulder in there.
Raleigh wants to get up and play the ball, and there's a real mess at that play the ball. Bodies all over the show. Hudson goes down.
And that's where good refereeing comes to the fore, and that was by Richard Silverwood there. He knew they were messing around, but he said, get on with it. No point in giving a penalty on the last.
Danny Kerman, the guy just playing the ball, has basically come in 12 months from playing on the wing at Featherstone to starting here in Super League in the second row, and I think he's done a particularly good job in the last few weeks. They've been blown away in games, and yet he's come on and shown some real fighting spirit. I've no doubt at 22 years of age he's still got a massive amount of improvement ahead of him, and he will come up with some errors, but keep your eye on him, he's one for the future.
And it was Danny Kerman, by the way, who put the first tackle in this set of 6 that Warrington currently have. That was Morley's run. It was halted by Lolisi. Clark with the left foot down the line. Penny is after this, but the ball beats them all. It'll be head and feet at the scrum here to Huddersfield.
He'll be quite happy with that. Got plenty of backspin on it.
Was he onside?
No real pressure from Penny and Leroy Cudjoe, but this is where Warrington have to make sure that they're solid. So often in the past they've conceded tries from deep downfield.
Tell you what, Michael Monaghan has a problem because he was pushed in the back when he was chasing a ball downfield, and I think he also got a stud down the back of the heel, and he's limping quite heavily. Just had a little word with referee Richard Silverwood. Here's Cudjoe again, the try scorer. Fatawira is the dummy half. Now Andy Raleigh again. Raleigh carrying Huddersfield so far forward before he's met by 3 tacklers. Hudson. Fatawira again. That's the 4th tackle, and Huddersfield still inside their own half. Mason carries the ball over halfway, brought to the ground by Rob Parker.
Again, good work by the forwards.
Up it goes high off the boot of Chris Thorman. Hicks is underneath that, he's safe as houses.
Well, he's probably the most dangerous player to kick the ball to, isn't he? Given an option of 2 wingers and a fullback, He's not only probably the best under the high ball, but he's also the biggest and strongest player when he starts to run that ball at the defensive line. I think if Thorman has another option, he'll find one of the wingmen.
John Clark with a run from dummy half.
The problem is Clark scooted away. There wasn't another Warrington player understood his mood or the action.
This is Monaghan. Good run from Monaghan. Great run from Monaghan. Support arrives from Breers. Breers showed it to Morley. Bullets the pass then to Matt King. King cuts back inside. Brought to ground though by the tackle from Luke Robinson. Now it's Breers again. And Breers stabbed it forward, went down, and that will be a penalty. It was taken without the ball. Kermond.
Little doubt about it. Kermond swinging left arm, made the contact. Neat little option though. Pretty hard to stop yourself from doing that. He tried to pull the arm away just at the last moment, but it was insufficient. Surely they'll tap this. Oh, he's going to go for the 2. Well, that is so surprising to say that they haven't had much possession in that position.
I just wonder whether the minds are going back to round 13 when they met at Cardiff. It ended up 36-34. 6 tries to both sides. It was just Warrington's superior goal difference that was the difference. Here's Michael Monaghan taking the line on bursting through 1 or 2. Eventually just coming through the tackles. That's when they look dangerous. They can find some second phase possession, but the grubber kick through. Late challenge by Kermond. Should be an easy 2 points for Hicks.
Yes, Chris Hicks is the goal kicker now, not Lee Breers, who was tackled without the ball that produced this penalty. Hicks plonks it over the top of the H, no problem at all. And Warrington are on the board. Huddersfield 4 points, 6 points, I beg your pardon. Warrington 2.
James Lowe's obviously happy with those 2, and maybe thinking that in the second half they will have a pretty strong wind to their advantage. That's the reason why we've seen so often that the Giants have kicked early in the tackle count. Going to utilise this strong breeze.
Huddersfield 6 out of 10 they have won at home this year, but 2008 has been a disappointment for them really, following their Challenge Cup final appearance in 2006 and their first ever appearance in the Engage Super League playoffs in 2007. And sadly that disappointment cost John Sharp his position here as the head coach. 2 teams of course that are coach-less at the moment, though Nathan Brown is coming from the NRL to Huddersfield, and James Lowe's has the job at Warrington till the end of the season. And a lot of people and a lot of players in the Warrington camp are saying, well, give it to James Lowe's on a full-time basis. So far it's working. He's won 5 from 6, just the 1 defeat in Perpignan against the Catalan Dragons.
Which is not a bad thing, is it, when you think about it? They certainly seem to respond, but as Phil Clark mentioned a couple of weeks ago, their biggest problem is yet again their defensive line. Can be brilliant with ball in hand. Other times they just fall asleep.
That's Darryl Griffin again. He's on off the bench. This now is Hudson. He's brought to ground on the last by Parker and Westwood. Hudson plays the ball somewhat gingerly, took a bit of a bang then I think, and Robinson hoists the kick. And Penny and Hicks are both after this. What an absolute schmozzle that was.
Cannot believe it. Neither of them shouted.
Lolisi, the ball that went backwards for Huddersfield. They escape with that. This is Brown. Well, they both were watching the ball then. Nobody shouted, obviously, and a collision in midair. And this is why Huddersfield now are 4 metres away from the Warrington line.
They'll be very fortunate if they can just keep their line intact.
It's Robinson. And Robinson gives the ball here to Chris Thorman. Thorman finds Cudjoe. It's a stroll in for Cudjoe. Second try for the Huddersfield full-back. Well, Riley made a mess of the first, and there was an almighty collision between Hicks and Penny for this second Huddersfield try. Warrington can be so devastating with ball in hand, but when it comes to defence, well, I asked Paul Cullen, Steve-O, last week if they ever taught defence, and he says they do, and James Lowe's did and does. But boy, this is awful.
Yeah, but this is not a problem with defence, Eddie. It's like Riley when he made the error right early in the game. You can't allow any side to get in a position, and they've got the quality of it. It was a good dummy run back on the inside that just created the gap out wide, and the youngster Cudjoe gets try number 2. He'll be looking for the hat-trick. Beautiful pass from Thorman. We spoke about the second phase, and this guy knows exactly how to do that. James Lowe's will be furious. Hicks and Penny.
Chris Thorman adds the extras again. Good kick from the Huddersfield captain, and standoff 12-2, the Giants lead. But, I mean, I don't know, but surely the basics are, when the ball is up in the air, somebody shouts, "That's mine."
Well, normally, yes, but normally, when the ball's coming to you on the angle, it's the man that is going to it, not the man that was coming across. Hicks really should have said, "It's yours." But how many times have we said this season, we talk about his skill factor and his speed, Kevin Penny, but sometimes it can be a liability.
Huddersfield will be delighted that we've got to the end of the first quarter, and at the moment they're 2-0 in this match, because for the rest of this season they're struggling in the opening 20 minutes. You know, they've been outscored by 2-1 so far this year. For the next 60 minutes, they've more or less scored like for like with their opponents throughout the 20 games that they've played. But that opening 20-minute period had been a problem for them. Now, perhaps coincidentally, Ryan Hudson has started this game, started very few for them this season. They've got off to a positive start, maybe some confidence coming in their way.
That's the umpteenth time as well that Huddersfield have kicked on the 4th tackle.
Well, it's because Warrington, if you analyse their performances, one of the weaknesses of Warrington are kick returns. They don't make as many metres as other sides in the first couple of carries, so it's better to get them down there and ask the 2 wingers and fullback to come up with those first few runs.
Breers will scamper away from dummy half now. He showed it to one, but couldn't get away from the attentions of Kevin Brown. And this now is Louis Anderson. Not much progress made there either. Just 33 metres made here on those 4 tackles so far. Gleeson to Griggs.
Shocking.
Wasn't the best pass.
Shocking. They don't know whether there's going to be a dummy runner. They don't know whether he's going to go behind him or whatever. Well, I think that James Lowe's might be having to look at the fact that he's got to put Gleeson back in his centre position, where he's been outstanding over the past couple of months. He's going to make a decision soon.
This is Robinson, and here's Cudjoe and Brown. Penny gets to him with Monaghan.
Basically though, Steve, don't you want your best player with his hands on the ball? Catalan have done it at times by putting Adam Mogg in to stand up and just saying, get involved in the action, get your hands on possession. And I think by allowing Gleeson to play a bit closer to the middle of the field, he has that opportunity here today.
I don't think he's a ball handler as a forward. It's a different game. Get him out wide, yes.
Nice kick. Oh, and it had to be a flailing hand from Chris Hicks.
Beautiful kick. Beautiful kick back on the inside. The one thing that Thorman can do, he can torment you throughout the full 80 minutes, and Hicks knew it.
That was going to stand up for Stuart Jones.
He was there to pounce.
Goal line dropout then.
You know, the body language right from the start from Warrington did not look good. They've got one heck of a uphill battle to get themselves back into this game.
Darryl Griffin,
10 points, Eddie.
Darryl Griffin driving the ball forward. Sorry, Steve. Well, let's go down to Bill.
Eddie, just an interesting change. You're suggesting that Gleeson might be better off where he's normally playing, and I think that is what is happening for Warrington. They've just sent Ben Harrison on. Simon Griggs has come off, and it looks as though Gleeson has reverted to normal service. Maybe they've reacted to that situation already.
Maybe so. Certainly Gleeson is standing out in the centres right now.
Well, we feel a lot more.
Warrington have conceded a penalty here.
Now this is where Huddersfield should take the 2. Well, they tried to turtle him. Westwood had completed the tackle. It's against the law. Oh, they're going for the tap.
Yes,
they're so confident.
They're running it here. This is Jackson. Why wouldn't they? Because whenever they've had the chance here, they've found the way to the line, and Griffith is trying to do that now. Darryl Griffin just short.
2 feet. Wait. Go.
plays the ball. And this is Thorman. And now it's Robinson scampering forward, and they've come up with the error themselves. Louis Anderson to the rescue there for Warrington with the bouncing ball.
Not the best option. It is quite greasy out there. Now then, can Warrington do what the Giants have done very effectively, and that is get over the halfway line in their set of 6. Look how the Giants are coming in on the angle. They're forcing Warrington into virtually one-out football. This is great defence. Oh, they've got away with it.
They have got away with it. Chris Hicks was first to react, and he wrestled himself away from one would-be tackle. And here's a problem for Adrian Morley. Blood from the mouth. It looks like he's in the blood bin, so he's off the field. Now Gleeson gets the ball wide to Riley. Riley will give it infield to Monaghan. Monaghan goes for a long raking pass to Matt King and finds him. Good tackle by Kevin Brown.
Certainly is.
Here's Monaghan again. Over the top, looking for King, finds him. Good job, King was the tallest on the field for Warrington then. That could have sailed over the sideline. That's the last tackle for them.
Surely the bomb, because the wind's against it, will come back.
No, he's drilling it down through the ground and over the line. Michael Monaghan, safety first.
Well, they haven't been down this area for quite some time, so they're hoping that their line of defence can get to it. This is where Morley got the elbow. It was a stray elbow. Oh, dear me. Danny Kerman caught him fair and square with the left elbow right into the mouth. That's the reason why there were plenty of claret rolling out on Adrian Morley. But Warrington, to me, just lack the bite. You can't say that about Huddersfield. Mason and Raleigh, and the way that Brian Hudson is controlling things at dummy half in this first 27 minutes has been outstanding.
Shoulder. Second, stand!
David Hodgson, dummy half now, as Fatuira plays the ball to him. No progress forward there. Gleeson saw to that.
This is where Huddersfield are strong at. If you kick the ball over the sideline and there's a scrum form 10 metres out, they'll get forward very well. It's what they do well. They run from dummy half. Both wingers are of international quality at scooting from the dummy half zone. Players like Griffin and Stitch and the rest of the forwards are good at gaining ground. Okay, they've got some accuracy here in the kicks. It's when they get close to the opponent's line that they can't find the pass player to create the try.
The kick from Thorman was just too long.
It's been a crafty performance as well by the Giants. Full credit to the acting coach Paul Anderson, because the kicking has been superb. Okay, they've got the advantage of that strong wind, but they've been able to just tease both Chris Riley and Kevin Penny.
Braycheck does well, finds Clark, who finds Westwood, and they go wide to Gleeson. Gets away from one would-be challenge, gives it then to Riley. Riley comes in field. Riley sees a little gap. Important tackle that was. It's Breers with space. Cuts back on the inside, Lee Breers.
Good step, just couldn't get it, the offload. There was someone there.
Breers came to the rescue of Warrington in the Millennium Magic game at Cardiff in May. This is Louis Anderson. And this is the last tackle here for Warrington. They're looking for a repeat set of 6. They might be looking for a 4-pointer. Matt King with a kick to the in-goal area. Leroy Cudjoe with work to do. And he nearly did it. They get the repeat set.
And pretty fortunate with it too as well. Now Matt King's not noted for a little dink forward, and James Lowes knows it as well. They've got away with it. The problem being is when you get a man like Matt King who puts boot to ball, the rest of the team don't know what he's doing.
Didn't he do exactly that down in Cardiff? They scored a try, didn't they? That was, I think, the comeback for them. King grub it into the in-goal area. They need something because, as you say, they do look flat at this point in time.
Well, Parker picks up pace and drives the ball in straight at Lolisi. Lolisi bounced off him, came back for a second effort, got him down with Griffin. Here's John Clark.
A little bit more aggression, that's what's needed. And Braychick brought a bit out there on the field of play, but they want some more.
That was Mike Cooper playing the ball to Clark. Here is Anderson again. 3 tackles gone, they're on the 20-metre line. Pressure building for Warrington here with Monaghan. Now with Breers, bit of space for him. Great ball to Westwood. Great try. The pot was boiling from the goal line dropout. 2 killer passes then. One from Monaghan, one on from Briers to Westwood, and Westwood hit the ball at pace. And Ben Westwood scores the 80th try of his career, and this is the 200th starting appearance of his career here. The England international makes it 6 for the season. Importantly for Warrington, they're on the ball.
A little bit fortunate, but King got there. He backed himself. Fullback couldn't get out of it. Good, solid, hard work put him in this position. And the combination between the two halfbacks, Monaghan and Briers, was sufficient to get Westwood. But there's nothing better than coming out wide. And when he did, he took the option. He went right back into the gap. Boy, if ever a side needed a try badly, that was it. And it's Warrington that breathed a huge sigh of relief. Remember, they were under the cosh just a few moments ago. And the Giants looking in full control, and a bit of magic from the two halfbacks.
So Chris Hicks with the opportunity here to add the second successful kick of the night to the Warrington total. It's 12-6 now. This for 12-8. Oh, he's hit the post. Well, you would say, and I've never kicked a goal in my life, but you would say that was an easy chance missed.
Yeah, possibly sums up how they've travelled, doesn't it, in the first 30 minutes of this game.
Doesn't look too happy, the coach, does he?
Not at their best. They'll score some points, you've no doubt about that. They'll score spectacular tries in the next 50 minutes of this match, but they'll need to improve, I think. It's very hard to turn around your attitude halfway through a game.
Get him low.
I think the fact, Phil, that James Lowe's threw on the big fellas, Parker and Braycheck, it's certainly lifted them slightly. A little bit more work from the hooker, John Clark. He's been quite happy just offloading. Maybe a few testing runs from dummy half, just make sure the first and second markers are alert, work hard.
Well, there's one of them.
That's better. This is where they need to quick play the ball, but then they're getting away with it, Giants, rolling him over.
Monaghan finds Gleeson in centre field this time. Good tackle there, though, by Stuart Jones. Monaghan again, and Briers stabs the kick in between Aspinwall and Cudjoe. Aspinwall is the man who picks it up. Runs straight at Lee Briers. And here's the double try scorer again, Leroy Cudjoe. Down he goes. Warrington injury news.
We saw Adrian Morley come off with that cut, which looked as though initially was in the mouth, but it turns out it's a nasty gash right on his chin where Dunny Kerman's elbow caught him, and he's still in the dressing room, still having treatment on that. So initially it looked like just a bloody lip, but it's obviously a bit more serious than that. So Morley's still off the field. Paul Rauhihi about to come back on for the Wolves.
Silly play there by Louis Anderson. He'd done all the hard work, got the tackle right around the ankles, and then just held on far too long. They are struggling, Warrington. They're struggling to get their line sorted out. Some are moving up, others are hanging back. It was a problem early in the season for the Wolves.
Great offload there from Jackson to Robinson. Here's Jones. They took the dummy there. Oh, that's a bit of a mess. Went backwards, says the referee. Went backwards off the Warrington hand. So King is able to play the ball. Well, and Parker here with 3 defenders ahead of him.
Well, it's a knock on. Or is it? No, it isn't.
It was knocked back by Mike Cooper.
Well done, Richard Silverwood. Eagle eye, and Jones has fallen foul of the man with the whistle.
No, pass it back and hit your guy. Okay.
Well, at one point, after 25 minutes, you wouldn't have bet $1 million that Warrington would get back into this game. But they have.
And here comes Rauhihi now.
First. Get off, John. Go.
Clark waiting at dummy half. Gives the ball to Cooper again. Good to see young Mike Cooper back. He had the most awful broken leg last week, then last year rather, than an ankle problem, and his season was ended prematurely. There was some big fear about his career, but thankfully he's back and healthy and fit again. Clark, good run from Clark, finds Breers, short ball again to Hicks this time. Wild is all over him. Wild has pinched him, and Warrington have stood still, and Wild is away. Westwood's after him. Oh, in the end Breers gets to him.
Well, I just shouldn't watch. He said, oh, he's pinched the ball. Yeah, I know. Referee says play on.
Second, here we are. Wait.
James Lowe's will be plotting and thinking of plenty to say when they're going for lemons or oranges, whatever they have at half-time. That's the look on the face of a coach that indicates to me he's going to say quite a few things at half-time.
Cudjoe, oh, he steps through two challenges, Cudjoe. Hat-trick time for Leroy Cudjoe.
No!
He's not, has he got the ball down?
Well, has he stopped him? He hasn't got it down in the first instant.
How many many seconds does he get to plonk the ball down?
We have to see whether his momentum has stopped.
Not down there.
Not down there.
Still rolling, wriggling.
King has him, King has him, King has him. Does he get it down there? I don't know whether well, this is a big one for Ashley Klein.
He certainly gets it down eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
I think that's the try, and I think it's a great try at that too. The way he bumped through the line to first place. King does well, doesn't he, to rest them in goal, but Cudjoe does even better there to keep control of possession and ground the ball.
Well, it's in slow motion, so has he stopped? Has he stopped him?
No, I think the momentum's still going.
It's hard to say. It's a big one for Ashley Klein. Now then, this is the point. Has he stopped there? And has he allowed him to go on?
I'm with you, Phil. I think that's a try. I think that should be given. But we were all wrong a few times last night. It's a hat-trick try for Cudjoe. It is a hat-trick try for Leroy Cudjoe. What a first half this young man's had.
He deserved it as well. He burst through.
It started underneath the Huddersfield post when Stephen Wild pinched the ball and Warrington just stood around. I don't know whether they're waiting for a double-decker bus to appear or for the referee's whistle to blow. But then there were so many tackles missed.
Look, they stood and watched and said, hey, ref, aren't you supposed to do something? Yeah, he said, I waved my arms. And that means play on. That got them into the position. But watch the talent of this full boy, Leroy Cudjoe. The step. He just bumped away. He went right over the top of Michael Monaghan. King tried desperately, but was given the nod by Ashley Klein, the video referee. Does he add the two?
Well, Foreman does, because he is in great form with the boot. It's 18 points to 6 to the Huddersfield Giants.
He is a wonderful talent. They've brought him on slowly but surely, and you cannot do any better than score a hat-trick.
And it's the first hat-trick from a Huddersfield Giants player this year.
Now then, one-on-one, the Wild can steal the ball. I think he's taken it before Jackson gets involved. I think some of the Warrington fans might disagree with me, but I think that's a clear, legitimate one-on-one steal before Jackson becomes interested.
And that's the reason, Phil, why they were hanging around looking at the man with a whistle. You don't wait in this game. You get into the action as quick as you can and then maybe hope that it could have been a penalty. It wasn't. Great work from Wild. And the skill factor of Cudjoe. Boy, his confidence must be sky high.
It must be. He had a great start and it's continued on for the 38.5 minutes here. Just one word of caution for Huddersfield, and I'm sure it still smarts with them, the fact that they led 22-6 at Cardiff at the Millennium Magic weekend. And Warrington came back. They came back and won the match by a couple of points. Oh! Good work from Jamal Lalisi, was it? Yes, it was. Ooh, and the ball went to ground for Warrington, but they hold on to possession with Cooper, who nicks it away on the deck to Clark, and here comes Breers again. Showed it to Westwood. He's tackled out of it by Fatuira. And it's a knock-on, I think the referee has said, by you, and by you he meant Lee Breers. It's head and feet to Huddersfield, it is.
Well, the Giants are pumped up for this performance here. It's been a strange time since they lost the coach, John Sharp, but they're determined now in front of the Sky cameras. They're going to show us that there is some ability, there is some quality on show in a Giants jersey. And a pretty impressive first 40 minutes here. Oh, say 40. Almost.
Yes, 25 seconds remaining of the opening half. 18-6 Huddersfield lead. And Warrington will need a millennium-esque comeback in the second half.
Well, 2 scores isn't the problem. I don't think 12 points is a massive hurdle. You see shifts of much bigger than that. But it seems to be the way they're playing.
Then they were playing exactly like this at Cardiff. Amazing. Nothing's changed much over the course of 3 months. James Lowes is on his way down to deliver what should be a paint-peeling half-time word or two.